I, 26 male, mistakenly saw an adult video my girlfriend, 27 female, made, and now I'm filled with embarrassment and dread. So, as the title says, I saw a homemade video my girlfriend made with an old FWB. We've been together for 2.5 years now and started living together towards the end of last year, and our relationship has been mostly amazing, except for a few small things, one now big, but I'll get to that. So my girlfriend bought an SSD for her laptop about 2 months ago and only recently did we get around to installing it. She still needed to copy over her old files to the new drive and I offered to use my USB stick to transfer over her old files to the new drive and she agreed. So while she was at work and I had the day off, I got to it. Installed the old hard drive into my laptop and went about it. My girlfriend has a metric ton of files and folders on her computer, so it was taking a while until I saw a folder labeled 5/22/2015, which I found interesting because of the name being a date. Now, I know I'll probably get crap for this and I know it's deserved, but I was curious as to what the folder was, a few months before we got together, and honestly did not even consider that there may be anything shady or off-putting. Well, F me. The thumbnails of the files in the folder were all images and a video of my worst fear, and I panicked because I was afraid of what it might be, but something inside of me made me open it and it was horrifying. There was my girlfriend, the woman I love with all of my heart, several months before we met getting her brains screwed out by some guy I didn't even recognize or know about. I didn't watch the whole video, but I did skip through it. You'd have sworn she was a P-star. We have a good sex life, or at least I thought, but nothing like that. I've suggested a few times spicing things up a bit but she said she wouldn't even consider trying them. And here she was doing it, right in front of my eyes with someone else. I closed out the video and grabbed a bottle of whiskey and sat on the couch watching TV, until she came home, to try to stop my mind from racing, but I felt like I was having a panic attack. When she came home it didn't take her long to notice what was going on and I just unloaded on her. I didn't yell or shout or call her names or anything, but I told her what I'd seen and even apologized for going into the folder, because I mostly believe she didn't remember the folder, or maybe I just want to believe it. She was just as horrified as I was and tried to comfort me and explained he was an old FWB, that she cut contact off with when she met me. According to her, they never slept together after she met me, but I don't know if she's just saying that to make me feel better or not. I brought up to her the things I saw her do in the video and asked why she never did them with me, and she hesitated for a moment. I honestly don't think any answer would have made me feel better, but she definitely made me feel worse when she said that she didn't do those things because she was falling in love with me. I don't understand this, and she said it was hard to explain her feelings about it, but said that she didn't consider them to be proper, or a good way to attract/keep someone you want around. I'm freaking baffled and I have more questions than answers, but she says she couldn't explain it any better than that. I told her I would like the evening alone and that I would be in the den, and please do not try to talk to me unless it was something important. So here I am. I don't even know how to begin to process my emotions right now. I feel emasculated and humiliated. If my girlfriend's libido was an oven switch, I feel like I'm only capable of turning her to medium and not high, which is an intensely awful feeling I never expected, and anger. I feel deceived, and thinking back on it, she did lie to me about her sexual past. I never even asked her if she had done those things, she offered it up herself. I'm mad at myself for clicking that folder and not remaining in blissful ignorance. I'm irrationally mad at that guy I don't even know. I want to be madder at her but I have this nagging feeling like it's not justified. I'm even considering breaking up with her once I regain my bearings, because I do feel sexual compatibility is important in a relationship and obviously we are not as sexually compatible as I thought. Even if she offered to do those things now it would feel hollow and cheap, and it'd be insulting because it would be obvious she wouldn't be doing it for any actual desire of her own. This whole thing is terrible. What should I do, Reddit? Should I accept that we have an incompatibility and break up now to save more heartache later, or do I accept that I'll never be the best sex my girlfriend has ever had and go the rest of my days with that newfound insecurity? Or is there a third option? I know she's been crying about this while I've been holed up in here, and the anxiety is killing us both. So I need to figure out what to do soon. I'm sorry for the long post, just writing this has actually been kind of therapeutic. Update. So, first I want to start off by thanking over 90% of you who commented constructively. Even if it may not have been what I wanted to hear, it was definitely something I needed to hear. I really needed to hear both sides to sort myself out this last day, so thank you again. With that said, this kept me up for a while and I didn't sleep much last night. Might be a bit until I do again. Some of you said I shouldn't break up with my girlfriend and that it was messed up of me to do, others said I should walk away and not look back, and there wasn't really a clear consensus. However, one slap in the face post that honestly shook me to my core. To summarize, it basically said, there's no way you regain your trust for her. There's no way that you can be expected to recover from how insulting and emasculating this whole scenario is. And there's no way she can justify all of this and still claim to truly and totally love you and want you. The math does not add up. After sleeping on it as suggested by many, I thought about it all day today and resolved 100% that I was going to break up with her. As much as that was going to kill me, I'd prefer a quick and painful shot than a slow and agonizing cancerous death that I'd probably have been in for trying to work it out. I'm sorry to all who said I should work it out or at least try. I just know my limits as a person and at this point in time I'm not capable of doing that in this scenario and probably never will be. But anyways, neither of us went to work today, but I got out of the house to get some fresh air and clear my head, and told her earlier today that I wanted to have a long and serious talk about everything when I got home. She readily agreed but said she was terrified this meant I was breaking up with her, which felt like a punch to the gut. I deflected it by just saying something to the effect of, "May. Right this moment I just want to talk." Which wasn't untrue. I came home about 5 to 6 hours ago and sat in the driveway for a bit trying to collect my bearings. When I went inside, she was in the living room waiting and asked if I was ready to talk now. I did explain to her that while I know she has never owed me anything, and yes her business is her business, that I still believed that I was being deceived. I still stand by the statement that everyone has a past and if they don't want to talk about it, fine. But if I ask and I either don't get an answer or I'm lied to, then I also have a right to walk away. Unfortunately she wasn't honest about that and this is where we were. She apologized profusely for trying to deceive me, and I told her I'd done some thinking and basically paraphrased what a few lady redditors told me from a woman's perspective to show her I understood. But while I understood, I didn't agree with it. That because of that, not only did it now appear we had a sexual incompatibility, but that we may have differences in how we handle sensitive topics that could be detrimental later on. I kept calm but told her how seeing that video basically shattered me. That no one would want to see that in the first place, but that her doing those things with him but outright telling me she never had and never would with me, tore my ego to pieces and that it would probably take years to fully recover, and even then I'll never forget it. She started crying really hard at this point and I wanted to comfort her, but I also knew at this moment I had to be as brutally honest as possible. She told me what some of you had said. That sex between us is far and away from the best she's ever had, that she's never been unfulfilled or thought she needed anything else, that the connection we had made it so much more passionate and intense. All that jazz. And she was sorry that she was being selfish for not more deeply considering if I needed anything else. I told her it wasn't selfish and it wasn't even necessarily inconsiderate, but I didn't know what it was, or at least the words to describe it. I told her that after a lot of thought and introspection, I think it's best for both of us to break up now and that way we can both start the healing process. I wanted to jump off of a balcony when I saw her reaction because I've never seen her so upset before. She was upset, telling me she knew I was going to do this, why was I doing this, how could I do this, please don't do this, begging me not to do this. I remembered what the post by Jacques said and a few other Redditors who came in and offered their blunt truths and told her that, not only is my trust in her damaged, but I, as a person, just feel damaged right now. She said she felt damaged too, but in a much worse way that I as a guy couldn't understand. I sorta get what she means, but at the same time this is also kind of her doing, though I didn't say anything. She told me that she thought we were going to get married sometime in the next year and a half, We had talked about it and I actually had been making plans for a proposal, secretly browsing rings that I'm pretty sure she knew I was looking at, etc., and that she doesn't want to start over with someone else. I told her that she's still young, extremely gorgeous, and has a million amazing attributes. But a few of them don't line up with mine and they happen to be pretty damn important ones. She said that she'll do any of that stuff with me, and more, name whatever I wanted, and she promised she'd love it because it was with me, the person she loved more than anything, and that she didn't know how serious this was to me. In all honesty, it wouldn't have been so serious to me had it just been how I assumed things had been, but considering what I found out and how I found out, it became pretty serious. Of course I told her no way in hell could I do that and would not do that. I know she's not really being genuine and doesn't want that, it's the heat of the moment making her say that, but she swore up and down it wasn't that. I didn't buy it though, and I was a little irritated she even suggested it because it felt kind of insulting. I did tell her that we don't need to move out separately immediately and that she can take some time to find accommodations she needs, and that I'd help her in any way I could, though I did say the sooner we get going on that the easier it will be. I expected to be more emotional during all of this, but I felt empty. I get the expression, shell of a man finally. Neither of us are happy about this unsurprisingly, but she said she wouldn't try to guilt me and she knows I'd never do that to her. But that she did hope I'd change my mind. She asked to sleep next to each other one more time, but I told her that I didn't think that was a good idea because this was already hard enough for me as it was, and that might make me crack. She said I feel that way because deep down I know this is a mistake, and I told her that it's because deep down and on the surface too, that I still love her very much and don't hold any ill will towards her and hope like hell she finds the happiness she deserves. But as far as it goes between us, my head knew that this was the best decision for both itself and for my heart. So, I'm on the couch now while she's in our room. I don't know what she's doing at the moment, but she stopped crying a little while ago, which I guess is good. I've mostly been staring at the ceiling and reflecting on things. No idea what's in store for me. My vision of this year has been fundamentally changed in a way that I never expected and it's terrifying. I may hang around here for a day or two more, but I don't think there's going to be any significant updates. If there is, I'll let you'll know, but I want to say thank you again for your time. This is hard, but some of you guys shared stories even worse than mine and you all managed to pull through it, and that is honestly the only source of comfort I have right now. Hopefully at some point in the future I can be one of you too, casually popping into a similar thread but involving other people and share my story and give them encouragement. Until then, I guess this is life. My 27 male, fiancé, 26 female, of 3 years unknowingly videotaped herself cheating on me with several different guys. My girlfriend of 3 years, technically fiancé I guess, unknowingly videotaped herself cheating on me with several people. This happened a while back. But I think it's still having an effect on me. I bought a phone charger that was actually a hidden camera, but also functioned as a regular charger. I bought it for the purpose of trying to figure out which one of my roommates had been stealing from me. Anyway, my girlfriend would often take various stuff of mine without asking. She had no idea about the hidden camera, but at the time I didn't know she took it. I figured it was just misplaced or lost until about 3 weeks later I saw her pull it out of her purse to charge her phone. I told her I had been looking for it and took it back. So I start preparing to try to catch my roommate, and the SD card was full, with 5 different videos. So I hit play and saw her sleeping with a guy in what I'm guessing was a motel room. Then the second video started and I realized it wasn't the same guy. I'm ashamed to admit that I couldn't actually watch the rest because once it sunk in and I realized what I was actually seeing, I started throwing up and had to get up. I continued listening though through all 5 videos, and while I'm not positive, it sounded like maybe 4 or 5 different guys. I was completely caught off guard. She denied cheating when I confronted her, so I pulled out my laptop and hit play. She went ballistic. She said, "How dare you spy on me like that?" etc. I told her I didn't even know she had taken it. So she grabbed the card out of my laptop and started stomping it to pieces. We broke up. I haven't really ever told this story. I saw someone talking about betrayal trauma and I was wondering if this would fall into that category. I know that if I was reading this I would probably call BS. It seems like it's fake, so if you don't believe me I completely get it. But for whatever it's worth, I swear it actually happened. As much as I wish it hadn't. I watched my wife's old adult tape and I am destroyed. A few weeks ago, I logged into my wife's online mail account when she was not there. I never did that before, and I trusted her whenever she went out on girls' nights or holidays. But after she returned from a 5-day summer trip with her girls, a bit reserved, and where she was hardly ever available, party all night, sleep all day apparently, I felt upset and opened her computer. All login details were auto-filled, there was an inbox with shitloads of spam and close offers I did not even look through. There were drafts, sent, trash, and a box called Thingy. Obviously caught my attention. It contained exactly 6 emails, all really old. One 10 years old was from her ex and had 2 video attachments. We are married for 8 years and we have 2 kids and are way over our 30s. The mail contained 2 adult tapes they made together and which he sent to her. I could not help but watch it a few times. It was explicit, closed up, detailed, and passionate, going on for 6 minutes. Quality was crap, but the sound was already nearly enough to make my world crumble. I do know this was 2 years before we even met, and I do not know a lot about him. According to her, he was abusive and controlling to her and she left him running away overnight with just a suitcase. That was always her story. Now I saw her making sweet love with him, and even though this is long over, I feel like cheated on. It's not nice to see your wife sucking someone else's D in close up and hearing the sound they both make. If you ever find such a video, don't watch it. It basically looks no different than the videos we made and the sounds she makes from me when we leave out our passion. I confronted her, and instead of being sorry for me, or having an explanation of why she kept those videos, she started freaking out on me. I just cannot believe that in a mail account with only 5 to 6 folders, you can overlook such an email for 10 years and having it sitting there during your 8 years of marriage. I feel this is wrong, and if she really forgot about it, it is still a big mess up in my eyes. She refuses to take responsibility for it. Why did you watch it was what she asked, and I do not know how to handle my fears now. When we now do it, I have to think of that video. I was always faithful to her and trustful, and our love and our intimacy was special and amazing to me. Now I feel exchangeable, irrelevant and alone with this problem. Plus, I feel I am getting jealous now. Is she really on the playground with the kids? Who else is there? Does she really go swimming anymore, or is that just a good excuse to come home freshly showered and tired? I do not want to mention it again, as I do not want to show her what an insecure person I am. We have sex, and it is passionate, but I can feel as much as she likes to do it with me, she has no desire for me. But maybe this is all just down to that stupid tape, and in all fairness, it's not her fault I watched it, and the fact it was there does not constitute her cheating on me now, only because I feel like being cheated on. Still, it's killing me inside. How can I calm down instead of driving this against the wall out of irrational fears? Edit. Just to get this straight. I am not treating her like she cheated. I also do not make her responsible for my feelings that result from my own insecurity. I apologized and we try to get things straightened out very carefully and without pressure. It still is a difference if you know your girl slept with other men others before you or if you have to witness this, live or on tape. I guess that time will fade the pictures in my mind and I am not in need of acute medical care for this. I just feel terrible, and I think I have a right to. And then I expect my partner to support me at least a bit. If she messes up something, no matter what, I do not let her sit alone and say, "You brought yourself into that crap, now find your way out alone." I feel it was careless or a stupid mistake to keep this in a container that several of the family can access easily, and therefore apart from me being a wimp and an insecure man to whine about it, I feel she needs to take over that part of the responsibility for what went wrong on her side. I did not really invade her privacy, we swap our phones all the time and do not really have secrets here. She told me herself she doesn't really use that mail account for anything private, and it has a password we use for many common sites. Yeah, I know, password security. Yes, I went in with the intention to find some dirt and I found dirt, though different than I thought. My own fault. And yes, it's none of my business what she did with other guys before me. So she could have a tape of any of them and I would not care, as long as I do not have to stumble upon them, and then being yelled at for saying, I didn't really like that. If you want to keep such a memory, which you would not like to find yourself, make sure it is safely hidden. It's 100% sure that she would not tolerate me watching old tapes with my exes, and probably not even owning them. Therefore, I think I have a point in being upset. Apart from that, thanks for many helpful, direct and open answers. Sometimes a kick in the butt also is a good thing.